I'm here today with Jyrki 69 of the 69 Eyes to talk about Death of Darkness, out April 21st on Atomic Fire Records. Thank you for coming on the channel. Thank you for talking about the record. How are you doing today?
Of course. Yeah, I'm doing really well, and this is just exciting times before the album comes out, and there's no really response from anybody yet. So these are the times that you sort of don't even remember how it feels when you're creating something, and all of a sudden the time comes that, hold on, people will probably write a review or write a comment about this, and this is exactly the time that I realized that, okay, I will be, you know, this music that we're done will be like reviewed pretty soon. Does it matter? The reviews, comments of fans are great, and that's what we're doing, music for the fans. Reviews, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of review it is, as long as they write of you, you know, at
There's
this
no such
point
thing
of
as bad
our
press.
lives. Yeah, seriously, there isn't, and that takes a long time to understand. But at this point, when we have this tender, difficult 30th album, which I don't that much like to actually even remember, mention, like any press is good press.
So let me ask you this. What was the spark that led to the creativity that then originates the very specific sound of this record and the overall vibe that this record has?
It was the fact that the last decade was pretty lame for the 69 Eyes. I mean, in the beginning of the decade, there was we were suffering from the complete change of music industry as a business, and it affected us. I don't like as artists as well, and those days were gone. So we were actually, even though I've always been talking about it, that we're never we're trying to do everything different than anybody else, but we got caught into that rat race of like with where every other, or actually all metal bands have pretty long been, that they record an album, they write music, record an album, announce an album, do interviews, then releases one single and then an album, and then they tour and then repeat the cycle after that. So we were caught into that, which is actually, it's actually worth trying to get into that, actually, as your starter. If you're starting a band, that's actually fantastic to be there. But like after you've done music for a couple of decades, and your third decade is like just like repeating yourself, and it doesn't somehow, I'm adventurous guy, so if there's no adventures ahead, I get bored. So that's why I actually even went to release a couple of solo albums, and I was even activated a rockabilly band called the 69 Cats. Both solo albums and my rockabilly band were most active in the States, because I wanted to hang out there. I wanted to play shows there, but it wasn't happening for the 69 Eyes because of current change of everything. We changed record labels and everything. And now I'm talking about 2000, like early 2010. And then that was it. And then, finally, after being active, this is a long story a little bit, but I will answer your question very shortly. So after being active just by myself, even playing Whiskey A Go Go and seeing my name, Jyrki 69, written there, people started to ask that, where's the band? Where's the 69 Eyes? And we get Des Fafara from Colne Chamber, and recently Devil Driver, frontman and legend, to be our manager in the US, and he got us back to play in the US. And just before COVID, we played 2 tours there, and all of a sudden the 69 Eyes were back in the US as well, and that was exciting. The adventure started again, and then of course lockdown came, and we were on the verge of changing again a record label, and there we were like going through alternatives, and then we ran into this A&R guy who was our A&R guy in like 15 years ago, like when the songs that we are most known of, like Lost Boys, was released, and we got this Finnish Helsinki-based A&R guy back then, and now he was having his own record label, and we it looked like it would be cool to start to do like continue where we stopped like some 15 years ago. And his idea was to write just singles, concentrate on writing like singles, and let's put them out and see what happens. And at that time, our international label Atomic Fire Records also was born, actually, and we were one of their that fresh label's new bands. So we just started to write singles, and we got this A&R guy, very ambitious guy, very like guru kind of person here in Finland. I would say he has the golden ear. He's somewhere between Clive Davis and Rick Rubin. So I hope he hears this. So we were just writing, like singles. And one of the things is like we neglected like Finland for a decade. Like we were more, and I can say we, or it can be just me. It doesn't matter. Like let's say we were most interested in like playing abroad and releasing new music abroad. But we weren't interested in getting anything, that like going on in Finland. But now it was a time for change, and of course, with the COVID and lockdown, here we were in Finland, and it started to look like good idea. Like let's try to make the 69 Eyes happen in here in our native Finland as well. So we started to write singles with this extraordinary A&R guy, and then all of a sudden, as we were writing the singles and getting music out one by one, the music got played on radio. The singles were like on the playlists, which is what you're looking for these days, and also like it seemed to resurrect the 69 Eyes like in many ways. So that was the spark. The spark was to get the music back on radio here in our home country. Also, just like activate the band instead of like getting rid of that rat race of like writing music secretly somewhere, then going secretly or social media actively to the recording studio, and then wait again another time and then have something out. It's too like slow. I'm impatient. I wanted feedback from fans. I wanted the music out when it's done. It's these days. I don't want to spend like a year writing and then another year waiting or recording anything. Let's get them out. Let's put them out like song by song as fast as we can. So this was the spark. Let's activate the band. Let's activate the fans. Let's activate whole fucking Finland as well. Like, hey, here we are. Remember us. And that worked. And also like this golden ear A&R person, he managed to push us to finish primetime TV show. And you have to remember that we're talking about the 69 Eyes, kind of cartoonish, weird cult band, which owes a lot to the Cramps, maybe some. Well, we think that we owe to New York Dolls. Somebody might say we owe to Mötley Crüe or similar, and definitely to all the goth 80s goth bands that you can remember of. So. And a heavy dose of weird Sunset Strip sleaze rock there as well. So this is the band, and then we're back on mainstream in Finland, and we were mainstream 15 years ago, and now we're on the biggest TV show ever, and we play there. So all of a sudden, the whole country was reminded of our band, and we were back on the spotlights again. but it's not about the spotlight. It's about, we're talking about music and spark to create music. But you know, like to get the spark really happen, there has to be something else there as well. And spotlights help, but also like a person who and people who remind you like, hey, hold on, you're fading out. You have what's going on. You have, and it's like this Fafara in the States, an A&R guy Gabi here in Finland, and of course our fans. So here's this answer in short term.
So let me ask you this: from that spark, what led you to put together a record that I feel, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in your perspective, but I feel like this is probably one of the darkest albums you guys have released. Do you see it that way?
Well, it's so I heard the record first time last weekend when I got it as a CD. And of course, I'm well, you can guess it. I'm buying CDs, you know, once a while. I'm like new Iggy Pop album. I got it as a CD that I needed. And then, well, what else I bought recently? Like I got Black 29 of Steve Zing. He's great horror metal punk album. And then like the box set of Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Those are here, which I can see right now, which I'm still like listening, and which are like my newest record. So I got our own album as a CD, and I put it on the CD player and I'm listening to it. And that was the first time I heard it on full, because we were creating these singles and we didn't think of anything like let's put out an album. It was like, let's put this single out. What about next single? Now we have 2. Hey, here's the 3rd one. Let's put out an EP. And you know, nothing to worry about how the album sounds like. It's like these singles brought so much life for us, you know. And actually that is also truth in that, because our record label just told us like we have like our streaming numbers have been growing 2,000%, and like we hit over 500,000 Spotify listeners a couple of weeks ago. And also we were told like the biggest group of people who have started to listen to the 69 Eyes is in the US, and it's under 25-year-old people, which is pretty fucking cool to say. So maybe this tragedy, which is not really thought this way, but it just happened that we started to release these singles. So maybe that was something that which works these days to keep people activated, you know, activate people and release new music. When it comes to the whole album as a dark album, I think it's our strongest album as I listen to it. As a one album instead of like bunch of singles. It's amazing like how strong the album is, yet it is dark. And as I also wanted to design it, like of course as you see in the cover artwork by Adrian Baxter, I wanted to be seriously taken, like a serious dark rock album. And his artwork is something that I have been admiring on the album covers of like Halo Effect, Paradise Lost, and where I actually sort of discovered him more closely was from Yellow Wolf album cover. And as you know, Yellow Wolf is American rapper, but I that caught my eye, like, hold on, this is a really interesting album cover for Yellow Wolf. Who's done this? And then there I discovered Adrian Baxter. So I wanted this kind of like mood also for the album, and he used the colors also very cleverly for it. And yeah, it's dark, but it's strong, but it's hopeful as well, you know. And of course, all the stories, all through the history of the 69 Eyes, some of them have really piece of me, what's been going on, particularly in my life. So you know, it just there's no desperation that much ever, but there's also there has to be some hope, and you know, like like looser and easier vibes as well. But yeah, you're right. It's there's no just like a party songs there, except probably Gotta Rock, but that's a cover song.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a darkness that's welcoming at the same time. So it's not.
The Welcoming Darkness sounds great, and also like song like California. That is like that's a dark song. It's like a Jim Morrison aspect of California, and I threw there like a Night Stalker as well. You know, to hang out. It's like it's a mystery and dreamy and also like deadly as fuck.
So you talked about California. This album, when I listen to this album, I feel like there's two places on earth that you can probably rock this album really well. One is the California nightlight, because there's a lot of neon. It sometimes I feel when I'm listening to the record that I'm driving a convertible car and I see the neon signs on the Californian highways, on the strip, on the Sunset Boulevard strip. But you, like you said, you guys are from Helsinki. So what connects this music, or what connects those two parts of the world? Is there something in common between Helsinki's nightlife and the nightlife in California?
The common thing is like the 69 Eyes. Like once, like when we started to happen in America, like 2004, and we were somehow part of the Hollywood party rock and roll scene back then, 2004, 5, 6. Eventually, we even recorded an album 2009 in LA. Those days, I was thinking of that I never did this, but I chickened out, I guess. But I was thinking that I will tattoo both on my both arms, on the other arm, like under my wrist, I would tattoo like Helsinki, and on the other arm, Hollywood. I was so like somehow inspired by all that excess that we achieved, and we seem to be in the right place at the right time. And you have to also understand that I was there on the Sunset Strip on its heydays, and I'm not talking about the 60s, like not that early on, but like during the glam times, when Guns N' Roses was like Guns N' Roses was the band, and bunch of other bands. So I was actually even there, just a tourist back then. But so I've seen it, and all of a sudden it started to happen, and like it was really happening, like let's say 15 years ago again. So that was it, and then there was a 10-year break, even though I was there going back and forward and wondering like, is it worth returning with the 69 Eyes? So it's just a dreamy place. Is it reality? Does it even exist? What I think, what I like, what kind of picture I paint on with the 69 Eyes, and what kind of image we give in our songs about Hollywood. I don't know, but it's somehow it's somewhere between Helsinki and Hollywood, for real, and exists. And I just enjoy the fact that I was 8 years old when I saw Elvis Presley's funeral on TV, and I was wondering like, who is this guy? My mother told me that it's a rock star called Elvis Presley from America. Then I discovered rock and roll, and it's all about that dream. Like, could I be a rocker? What is rock and roll? What is America? Could I be like a rocker coming out where I come from, and could I somehow make it happen in the States? It took a while. That was the whole idea of the 69. I starting the band like in '89, and we were like dreamy Americans. Like about Beatles, it was always said that they were like dreaming to be American band. The 69 Eyes have the same aspect, but our advantage is that we are actually from Finland, so our sense of melody, and probably like before you ask how come you have played this long, loyalty to each other, because this is a gang. We were started as a gang. It was a gang, but it was a band at the same time. So our advantage is that we come over from here, so we're still alive, and that excess of Hollywood hasn't destroyed us, and we still are there to deliver rock and roll, and as well as enjoy and bring good times for people, and probably, hopefully, inspire a bunch of new people to start rocking out, and and show it at our age with this 30th album that it's possible, and it's good, and it's out there, and it's time to get back to where we were like a few years ago. It's not the stable world that it was like 5 years ago, but it's still there, and we have to get back on the groove.
One of the songs that surprised me on this album, not the song itself or the sound of the song, but who you had on the song, This Murder Takes Two with Kat Von D. What's the relationship there, and why did you feel like she was the perfect person for this duet, for this track?
Well, I mean, everybody will feel like he's or hear how she is perfect person as you hear the track, because her voice is incredible with my voice and on that song to bring the haunting, mysterious vibe there. She's been like a friend of ours like 2 decades. Of course, like as a superstar herself, and a gothic icon, gothic queen of the current times. She's the coolest, and we're lucky to get to know her like back in the days of Jackass, Viva La Bam, and like LA Ink times. Since we were featured on Viva La Bam TV show, so all these people who were part of that scene are still around, and it was like a big family back then, and the good times back then they never really went anywhere. I mean, and we're in touch with each other all the time. Actually, I was actually inviting just Steve O to come to see our shows, and I'm sure a bunch of other characters and friends of ours will show up there as well. So Kat's been there, and we actually did music. The 69ers did some music with Kat Von D something like more than 10 years ago. We did a song called Rosary Blue, but it really didn't happen the way we wanted. It's kind of unknown. It was a really cool thing to do, and that was when she was starting her singing career. So it was just like it was a cool thing to do among friends, and I've seen it on a YouTube, like it says like the singer of him and Kat Von D singing together, though it's me there. But I don't care. It's cool that people discover the song that way. But it was time to do a proper song with her when we had this Murder Takes Two entirely recorded, and I did all the vocals, and it was there. It was there. I was ready. It was cool. It was good to go. Then our bass player had an idea that, hold on, this needs something, and it needs female vocals, and immediately just came to my mind that it would be the coolest moment to invite Kat to join us. And as soon as I texted her, she just replied immediately like, hell yeah. So now we're here. We did a music video for it in January in LA, and it's just a haunting, beautiful track, and it's I hope that people just enjoy it, and it's cool to do things with your friends, but it's a great song as well. So I'm really excited to hear and see the response of the song when it comes out as a single and as a video.
For sure, it's one of the many outstanding tracks that this record has. I have one last question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I honestly, I love the album. I know every
Thank
band
you.
always says that the latest record is their best record, but I honestly,
I know this too, but I mean,
I honestly think this
again,
is the best record you guys have released.
Thank you. And I was asking from some older artists like recently, like, what should I talk about when the album comes out? Like, I have nothing to say, to be honest. And then that guy said, like, just say it's the best record you've done. I'm like, okay, because as you know, like use business as usual. Like, hey, you have new album out. What's going on? I said, yeah, just say that it's the best album we're done. But I mean, I feel like it because I even listened. Well, I listened to it as a fool, and I was excited about every single. And now it's when you cram them under the moniker of album Death of Darkness. It's very strong, and like I told about these kind of. Like kind of like in a way like not something which is so close to my heart, but I'm really proud of that. The fact that there's these numbers and this data which is followed these days are have been growing like for the 69 eyes. So I'm excited about everything that all this buzz is going on. I think we're worth it. I'm worth it. We're worth it. Like we played this rock and roll in the way we're done all these decades, and we haven't changed a thing.
Yeah, and you guys are still here. I got one last question for you, and that is, if one day Hollywood makes a biographical movie about the 69 Eyes, who would you want to play you?
I mean, like I think the guys from Palais Royale, Remington Lead can easily play me. He's my favorite new. It's not very new, but new voices that I've ever heard. So yeah, just cast the Palais Royale in. They can play us all.
All right. I thought you were going to go with Johnny Depp, but I'll take it.
Oh well, I will play Johnny Depp in his biography. That's I'll do that.
Okay. I like your idea. I like your idea. That would be.
Yeah, we definitely have to change roles with Johnny Depp. So it's I will take him. I'll play him. But Palais Royale will unfortunately has this burden to play us one fine day in the Netflix series of the 69 Eyes.
Hey,
they're the perfect new generation of vampires.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I hope it happens. I hope somebody's listening to us and makes this happen. It would be amazing. Jyrki 69, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
It was an absolute pleasure and a blast. You're a legend. So thank you very much for taking the time, and best of luck with this release.
Any old time, Pedro. It was a pleasure.
Take care, man. All the best.
See you around.